So this evening I titled the talk Forgiveness and Blame. So to me, when I think about forgiveness, I think about an active action of forgiveness. So forgiveness is something that you actively do. So it's something that you talk yourself into, or you put effort into forgiving someone. And I think that's a beautiful way to do it, but the way that I view it is you do it the opposite way round. You ask, who is it that's doing the action? Like who is it that that committed the crime or does the action? Like who is that person? Like who is the doer of each action? So right now you might think that you're sitting there watching me and that you're putting effort into watching me. So you might think that you're sitting here watching me, but who is sitting here watching? Who is doing? So right now, when you move your hand, who is moving your hand? Right now, when you're looking at me, who is looking? Who is listening to me? And the assumption is that there is somebody inside your body that's looking and hearing and moving the hand, and that this person has autonomy and free will and can move around in relationship to a world separately. But non-duality is seeing, and it's like an energetic shift, seeing that who you are isn't the doer. Like this appearance of doership, this appearance of a person that's saying, I'm doing, I'm acting, I'm creating, is an appearance happening in freedom. It isn't who you truly are. Isn't that wonderful? And this is where forgiveness comes, because when this is seen, it's seen that there is nobody that's doing anything. There's nobody to blame, because who could you possibly blame? So even yourself, so if you're feeling guilt, like blaming yourself, it's nobody's fault, because it's all happening. Your life, their life, anybody's life couldn't be any other way. It's one way. And we have an idea that lots of independent people are acting and creating and moving, but there is no independent people doing anything. There is one energy expressing itself. So a lot of the time we have a lot of internal dialogue or internal dialogue about whose fault it is, whether it's our fault or their fault. And who's guilty, who's to blame. But you're not guilty and they're not guilty. Life is simply happening. And people like to either take the victim role or the perpetrator role, and sometimes they oscillate between the two. It's their fault, it's my fault, it's their fault, it's my fault. But whose fault is it? Who is doing? Who is acting? Who is creating? So right now, if you come down to this moment, like you just come back to the simplicity of this moment, where is your impulses coming from? So the thought comes up, I'm guilty, or I shouldn't have done this, or I should have done that. That thought comes up and action comes up, but where does it come from? We always assume that there is an entity called you behind that, but who is this you and how is it creating? It's a seeing, but it's a spontaneously appearing in nothing, in this mystery. And it's as much you as the breeze, as the sky, as the room, as the sounds, as my face, as my hair, as the computer. So to try to forgive someone in a way is you're like reconditioning yourself, and that's okay. That's good. Like trying to understand, trying to empathize with them, with what they've done. But the root to it is who do you think did it? Who is this person that did something? And who is the person that they did something to? Yeah, I can't think of any more to say on that. Maybe we take some questions.